Despite some calls to end recycling, Jefferson Parish approves a new contract. Next year, recycling will be billed separately from garbage collection. Maddie Kurth tells us about the extra charges residents will see next year.
Weekly curbside recycling pickup will cost 112,000 households across Jefferson Parish an additional $4.49 a month. The parish hired Ramelli Janitorial Services to head recycling collection and processing in the new year in a 5-2 council vote. It currently manages the recycling program in Kenner. The two councilmen opposed to the new contract, Scott Walker and Dino Bonanno, say their votes aren't a reflection of the proposal, but of the program as a whole.
This is what we have in a situation and a program that I feel like doesn't work very well and is kind of broken.
Councilman Scott Walker says he's been fielding calls from residents.
What my office received was more against recycling than for recycling, and it was close.
And I think with a little bit more education, people might start participating a lot more.
The recycling program will come at a cost for all parish residents, though Walker says only 30% use the service.
And I'm against putting another fee on our public right now when everything is going to go up in 2024. So I'm not crazy about the fee, and I'm not crazy about the situation as it is, but it is what it is.
Ramelli's start date is up to the council. He says service can begin as early as January 1st with the bins households are already using. 30 to 45 days later, larger 65-gallon bins with lids would be distributed. In the meantime, Ramelli says he's getting to work on some tips for those new to recycling.
Paper, plastic, 1, 2, and 3, cans, cardboard. There's a list of things that we're going to put together that we're going to pass out to all the residents so they'll know what they're supposed to do.
Now, Ramelli says plans are being made for one of his employees to work with the parish, searching for grants to help offset the costs for households.